And blessed to be part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, Dave Petzo with us. You were just enjoying that intro by Ray Amaya. That's great quality stuff.
That was well done. Well done.
Well,
it must have taken days and days.
Yeah. Surprisingly, it was just off the cuff. It was no editing at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Good work, then.
Well, we aim to please, and when you have people that, politicians, as you're so fond of, they say one thing and do another, but we'll get to that. Let's start with some good news, Dave Petzo. I like it. I'm sure you're all excited about this. I'm cringing at this, but according to Yahoo Finance, Micron stock to an 18-year high. Micron Technology shares could be heading to prices not seen in 18 years to nearly $73 a share. The stock may have a good shot at getting there based on a technical analysis, options, betting, and analyst forecast. And it goes on and on to take a look at Micron. Of course, wasn't the all-time high $90 a share for Micron back in 75 or whatever? Yeah,
and then they split the stock. You're right, it was. It was in the 90s. They split, and then it ran back to 90. It's 90-something, 95, I think, somewhere in that range where it met its demise, and it really tanked. That was really something to watch that thing go down because it actually announced great earnings. Great announcement after that, and then the stock had already hit 60 almost in a blink and on its way down to, I believe at one point, Kevin, it hit $2 again.
I remember that. I remember when Micron was, on the verge, and now it has recovered. And then, you see the changing of the guard and everything else. Micron's such a unique history here in the Treasure Valley when you think of J.R. Simplot and others getting together to form Micron.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. I think he'll be okay with me telling the story. So when we go to Washington every year, Senator Risch, we cover our senators and our congressmen. So with Senator Risch, it's always excitement and adventure. So he goes, "Come on, Kevin, we're going to see Wolf Blitzer." And I go, "Wolf Blitzer? Okay." And we're in the green room of CNN in Washington, D.C., and the senator's in there, Jeffrey Toobin, their legal analyst, is there. And he's talking about Idaho, and they're talking about J.R. Simplot. He goes, "Look, J.R. Simplot was known for this, this, and this, but what a lot of people don't know is he had the foresight to really, come up with Micron and invest in it and keep it going for quite some time." A lot of people really don't know the history of J.R. Simplot's involvement in Micron.
No, they don't. They don't. No, it's. In fact, this company shouldn't exist. Finish your story. That's okay.
Well, that was it. That was the end of the story. Where
I thought it was going to be excitement. You got a signed autograph from Wolf Blitzer, and
well, then that would be about me, and this is about the community.
I got you. Oh, okay.
Right.
I got you.
But I did meet Wolf Blitzer, and he's an interesting guy, and all that sort of thing. But back to J.R. Simplot, and the only thing I really know about J.R. Mr. Simplot is there was a special, and I wish I could find it, and I believe it was Brian Williams came to Boise, and he did a profile, and it was for one of those shows. I don't know if it was Dateline or whatever. It was one of those shows, and he hung out with J.R., driving in the pickup truck around, and I just remember, wow, this guy is such a character.
Yeah.
And just such a legacy today of what he built, and going back to the success of Micron. I wonder what the people that Morrison, Knudsen, and others that built the Treasure Valley would think of their institutions and their global impact. And unfortunately for some, they're global relocations.
Yeah.
You love the Treasure Valley. In fact, maybe we'll start calling you, well, no, you're Mr. Boise. We're not Mr. Treasure Valley. But
you're working on me.
Yeah, I am. I am working on you.
I drove out to a place called Star the other day, if you've heard of it.
Star, Idaho, yes.
Yeah.
Star, Idaho, home of Governor Otter, Russ Smers, and others. Back to you, though.
Yeah.
What do you think he would think of, his company and possibly Micron moving more of their operations over to Taiwan?
Yeah, obviously that's a concern. It always has been, Kevin, that the company could, pull up and go, could get bought out. There were so many things that can go wrong.
Well, the Chinese tried to buy them.
They sure did, yes. Yeah. And, of course, the Defense Department. It was a bit of a joke that they would let them buy them, but Micron was not doing well at the time. They weren't making money. It was, they just took a stab at it. But at any rate, this company couldn't even exist today, would not, even with the Simplots and all that around, because Yonke and Simplot and Noble, Guys like that, there are others too. I just can't think of all of them. But they gathered together and literally week by week would decide who was going to write a check to keep the door open.
Right.
And you just don't do that anymore. People don't do that anymore. And these were the great industrialists that just believed that this thing called Micron could work. And if they hadn't kept writing checks, which no accountant would ever let them continue to do today, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't exist. And it was just their will to succeed and to give this thing a chance and breathe financial life into it that made it happen. But you're right. Simplot, Albertsons, MK, the whole valley has changed so much. It's been, and companies moving out of the area. You know, Albertsons, what happened to it? I'm sure that Joe would have just turned over in his grave when Johnson came to town and ruined the company, sold it off, and then ran out of here with his $250 million golden parachute. That was one of those just horrific times, really, for Boise to watch that type of thing happen. Micron has survived, and without Micron here during some of those periods in the 80s and 90s when Boise just wasn't big enough to absorb, $5,000 or $10,000 or 10,000 job loss, Micron hung in there, and it's always been very important to this area. I hope they stay, and I don't know why you would want to move your operations closer to the people that are just trying to steal your technology, the Chinese.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Of course, you and I have talked about this before, cost cutting and the like. But really, there are a lot of good people that work at Micron. In fact, there's a gentleman I was in one of the vehicles when you get your car looked at. They don't give you a vehicle, but they drive around, and this guy works at Micron. He goes, "Yeah, I work with a Kevin Miller at Micron." And I always give him a hard time because of your program and stuff. But there are so many good people, and this goes back to. And for younger people, they don't understand that there was a time in America where you worked at a job for 30 years.
Yeah.
You lived in the same neighborhood. You had roots. And people may think it's antiquated or those are quaint thoughts. To me, that is still the norm.
Yeah.
But today, people are, go here, go there. You work 7 jobs in 20 years or something of that nature, and that's the new norm. Yet, we go back to the backbone, the blue collar, the foundation of America, and those good jobs really mean a lot to people, good people here in the Treasure Valley. Not everybody can open their own business. Not everybody is wired to be an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur.
Right. Well, it's a wonderful thing. Everybody has a different place, different type of people, and we all fit together kind of nicely in the world. Kind of the way I think of it is like men and women. We kind of dig each other, and it's kind of a strange thing. But the world has different components.
Why would that be a strange thing?
Well, it's not. It's a norm. I just think it's interesting how different we are and have different skill sets. And then we bring those all together, and you can have a magic business, but not everyone's an entrepreneur. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't mean they're misfits or incapable of doing great things. But those people that are entrepreneurial, that see a vision, that want to put in, are willing to take the risk and spend enormous amounts of time and just set everything else aside. Those people are rare, and they really are to be applauded because they're the ones that employ, they're the ones that create everything, they're the ones that really drive our society forward. It's the people that's the bureaucrats that try to ruin our society.
Our great friend Dave Petzo, the Petzo Center, Petzo Financial, available on Facebook and Twitter every Saturday, 8 to 10 here at KIDO Talk Radio. So Memorial Day is over. What does that mean for the financial markets? Will we see you all after Labor Day? Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the official beginning of a lot of time off for a lot of people on Wall Street. It really does mean typically a little slower trading, not like it used to be, Kevin, where so much trading was done literally by people standing there at the post, and what we call market makers, which were actual human beings. Now they're not, and they're machines, and you have a lot less people in the first place. But trading is less in the summer. It still is, and we can sometimes see some pretty wild swings because of that lack of trading.
Dave Petzo with us here as we take a look at what's to come. Do you find in good markets there are a lot of people getting into your business, like in real estate?
No, it has a much longer cycle. It takes a lot longer to get into, find people to talk to, and it's much more complicated. There just isn't a line of people that are saying, "Hey, I got to get into the financial business." It takes a lot of learning to get going. So it takes a little bit longer. So if the markets are hot for the 1990s, we did see more people coming in. All through the 80s and 90s, the markets were hot for a 20-year period of time. Not every single year. We had corrections during that time too, but it was basically a bull market, and we had plenty of people in the industry for sure.
Right. It just somebody came up to me the other day and said, "Hey, I've been doing this, and hey, can you give me 5 referrals and such?" And I'm thinking, so then I thought, well, the next time I talk to Dave Petzo, I'm going to ask him, because everybody seems to be into real estate now.
Right.
And, I think like a lot of things, if you remember customer service, you have knowledge of your product, and you care about your client, your customer, and treat them as a partner, you're going to be okay. But so many people just think, hey, this is the easy ride. And I just wondered, for your business, I had a neighbor in Pittsburgh, and he was always scamming, and he bragged to me when he bought his home how he had negotiated down a price with the woman who sold her home, had been there forever, who was a recent widow. And I had known their family, and he just openly bragging to me about it.
Yeah.
And then he talked about getting into financial things, financial management, because I guess he worked at a bank. He goes, oh, there's great commissions in that sort of thing. And, you want people to be motivated to do well, but I would say in your businesses, in real estate and others, you got to take care of the person that is looking for your guidance and your perspective.
You do. I think that the reason we see real estate doing well is because people see a big number. Well, if I sold a $500,000 house and at 3%, that's like $15,000. I don't have to do a lot of that. I can set up and I'll make phone calls, or I'll go do this and this, and I know a group of people, and they think they're just going to get into real estate.
Right.
And real estate is easy to get into. This is not.
We're not bagging on real estate. We're just giving you an analysis. Right?
It is easy to get into so people can move into it. But is it easy to succeed in? I don't think so. I think just like everything else, you have people who are really, really good at what they do. And it's awful hard. We wouldn't have 10,000 how to get rich books in business if there was really a secret sauce. There's just a combination of things, and different people are different.
That's what I understand. If you get rich in business,
yeah.
Why would you give that away?
Right.
Now, I think I've bought like 75 of those 100 books, but it always amazes me.
Exactly.
Here's my secret to getting rich.
Exactly. Which is to get you to buy a book. Kevin, I think the thing is about this, and one of the reasons that there's so many different books about this is that different people write it, and let's face it, my secret is different than what makes you successful. Everybody.
Well, wait a minute.
different
I would
way.
say you are successful. The book's still out on me. And we'll leave it at that. More coming up, 580 AM, 107.5 FM with Dave Petzo. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Dave Petzo with us. Coming up, much more on the Treasure Valley real estate market and employment and business opportunities. Before that, we go to the Reverend Bill Roscoe, fresh off of nuptials on Saturday from the Boise Rescue Mission, who joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Bill.
I'm fresh off of a amazing weekend, but fresh off of an amazing week. I'm going to have a hard time not pulling off at Garrity and Nampa to go back to Walmart, Kevin, and expect to see the tent and the motorhome and everything, and my best buddy on the radio sitting there. I just called to say thank you, and to you, Kevin, and to all of your listeners. Dave, of course, you're a constant friend of the Rescue Mission. But what a great week, Kevin. And once again, you and the folks who follow you and the Rescue Mission on KIDO came out, did their thing, and blessed us greater than we ever expect.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a great time. And certainly you at the Rescue Mission, you always have something going on.
Well, yeah. And, you were talking about today what's next after Memorial Day. And for us, of course, it's going to be get through the hot summer and help people to stay cool and not get sunburned, and take care of all the children that'll be off of school for a couple, 3 months. And then, of course, by the time we get to June, late July, we're already gearing up for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And it just, it's a constant busyness around the Rescue Mission, but it's a good busyness in that we get to help a lot of people. But, of course, again, the only way we can do that is by folks supporting us. And again, Miller, Kevin, your week at Walmart is a big deal, and we really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I know you have something that you'd like to share with people in the Treasure Valley.
Well, I want to say thank you, and I want to say look forward to the summer and fall activities at the Rescue Mission. Our 60th anniversary is coming up this fall. We'll have a great celebration in October. And speaking of J.R. Simplot, we're actually going to hold our banquet at the Jump Center in downtown Boise. So what you've done, folks, thanks for your goodness, your generosity, and your kindness. And I hope that throughout the summer months, everyone will have a great time, a lot of time off like Dave Petso prescribed. I heard that, Dave. I'm going to take advantage of that. And then we're going to look forward to a great fall and a great winter and just another great year of serving people here in the Treasure Valley.
Don't you have a truck you're giving away?
We do have a truck we're giving away. Thanks, Kevin. I knew you were going somewhere with that, but I wasn't sure where. So. It's like you tell me when I'm sitting across from you in the tent. Focus, Roscoe, focus. I got the tickets for that truck sitting on the dash of my car right now. And if anyone is interested to win a fully restored, looks like it came right off the showroom floor, 1955 3/4-ton Chevrolet pickup truck, then you need to go on the Boise RM website, and you can buy tickets there. You can call me and get tickets from me, 343-2389. This is a beautiful truck. It was donated to the Rescue Mission. It was sitting out in the barn for about 15 years, and now it does look just like it came off the showroom floor, but it does have a 283 and a fancy transmission and rear end, so the drivetrain is really hot. But the outside of that truck, it looks like it's a brand new 55 Chevy.
Well, I can see Dave Petso driving around in that truck.
Well, you know, Dave Petso would look good in it. Kevin Miller would look good in it. Mrs. Miller would look good in it. Kevin Miller, I think you ought to buy a dozen tickets or so.
Well,
it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for the veterans programs at the Rescue Mission, and of course, we serve a lot of veterans who aren't staying at the Rescue Mission. And we serve them through a lot of our connections with the VA and the Vet Center, Patriot Fund, and other great organizations in the Valley. So if you want to help a veteran, $10, you get a ticket for the truck, and you might just drive it for the rest of your life.
And just call Reverend Bill or go to BoiseRM.org for more information. Is that right, sir?
That's right, Kevin.
Well, God bless you, my
always.
son. God bless you, my son.
And God bless you, my sons. And I wish you both a wonderful day today. And again, to both of you and to all the KIDO listeners, from the bottom of my heart and from the 1,000 meals that we'll serve today and the 400 to 500 people that will be sleeping in bed tonight, God bless you and thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Reverend Bill.
Thanks for your good work, Bill.
You betcha. Great day, fellas.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so very much.
Traffic and weather together at KIDO. And back with our great friend Dave Petso. So we take a look at any humps or bumps we should be looking out for coming up.
I think the biggest thing that the market's going to face right now is going to be this turmoil that's caused as interest rates are changing. We're getting back to norm. We have been getting back to normal, so I don't look at this as being a problem. But I think that in the summer, when things are typically, again, quiet and you don't have a lot going on, as it appears, we're kind of solving some of these, if you will, global tensions, and that's going to settle the market down on its own. What are we looking for that might be something to unsettle? I don't know. I'll make it up. Interest rates. Because, Kevin, things are really good. The economy's going well. Things are going well. It seems like Trump's making headway on trade. He's making headway in North Korea. We'll see if these things come to fruition, but it's looking pretty good on the global front right now. And so I don't see a lot for the market. Interest rates, but that's a symptom of because it's okay now. It's all right to let interest rates go higher. It's good that the rates are going up. I mean, we all wish we could just borrow billions of dollars forever at zero, but the reality is that we are just returning to normal, and that is a good thing.
On the other hand, gas prices continue to go up.
They do. The good news, of course, Kevin, in regards to that is that we've become so much less reliant on gas prices as far as how much is used, how much is used per mile in this country, how big an economic impact it'll be. It's just not what it would be a number of years ago. It's a lot less impact right now. Of course, individually to some families it's tough. They drive a lot, and it's a big expense. But the reality is, to the overall system, it's going to be fine.
Dave Petso, Money Matters, the Petso Center. Anything else you'd like to share with us here this morning?
Oh, feeling good, ready to roll. We got a little short week coming up here. I hope I do have the one little thing I wanted to share, and that is, again, hats off to you, Kevin. It was a neat thing what you did for the rescue mission last week. You really raised the awareness of how what these folks do to change lives. It's not just about feeding people. That is where it starts, but it's about changing their lives from their spiritual selves and also in a real practical way to give them the skills to go attack life again and be a productive member of society. The rescue mission needs people like you, and the work they do is just remarkable.
Well, Dave,
so thank you for highlighting that.
You're welcome, and Dave Petzo, thank you for your continued support of the rescue mission.
My pleasure, always.
Maybe we could get the Petzo portable palace next to the
portable palace.
Could dress you up as a turkey.
Oh, good. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
You're listening to KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie. And blessed to be a part of your day, Kevin Miller in the morning. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Earlier we were talking about this Oklahoma City restaurant person who was in a restaurant. All of a sudden, some things went down. He pulled out his weapon and saved a bunch of lives. Of course, the liberal press, the progressive press, the national press, not really reporting it. Let's get the skinny from our friends at CBS.
Good morning. Police tell us the gunman is between 18 and 20 years old and was wearing earmuffs and safety goggles. This is the type of equipment you'd see used at a shooting range. We spoke to one of the victims who told us she was walking into the front door of the restaurant when the gunman opened fire. And police say it was an armed civilian who brought the gunman down.
She's still pretty shook up.
Dennis Wills says his daughter Natalie and her 12-year-old daughter Nia were walking in the Louis Bar and Grill Thursday night for a relative's birthday party when the gunman started shooting.
They were getting ready to walk in the front door, and evidently the shooter was in the tree line, and they were both shot by the front door.
2 people have been shot. There's a male in the parking lot shooting a gun.
Dennis Will says his daughter was grazed by a bullet and his granddaughter was shot. Natalie Will tells CBS News she and her daughter hid in the restaurant's bathroom with 3 other women until the shooting was over.
We got a ton of witnesses here.
Police say about 100 people were inside Louis when the shooting started.
He came in and started shooting people.
Oklahoma City police say the gunman walked into the restaurant and then started shooting, which seems to contradict what the Will family has said.
When the suspect leaves the restaurant, he is confronted by a civilian. The civilian did have a handgun, and the civilian pulled out his handgun and shot the suspect, and it killed the suspect.
Police are calling that armed civilian a hero and crediting him with saving lives. Dennis Will says he's grateful that man was there.
I would love to congratulate him, give him a big hug.
That's really what it comes down to here at KIDO Talk Radio, where, which would you rather be? Would you rather be the person in the store or the restaurant or the place of worship, and you're hiding in the bathroom, hoping and praying that this killer, this predator, doesn't take your life? Or would you rather be the armed person who decided to do the right thing? And we've heard about this at the mall in Oregon and other places. The media doesn't want to talk about this because it doesn't fit the anti-gun narrative that did what he was trained to do, that he trained himself to do, which was to take down the perp. That's really the type of world that we live in. And now we have David Hogg and others that are going after supermarkets and everything else because, well, they're doing their own thing. They want to destroy the NRA, and they're going after sponsors and contributors and everything else. They're going into supermarkets and actually lying on the floor. And they're calling this the Hogan or whatever. Not Hogan's Heroes, but Hogg and his folks are hogging up all the aisle spaces. So imagine you want to get some beans, you want to get some fried rice, you want to get something, and you've got to step over young people because they have a problem with a supermarket chain. Now, is that the First Amendment? Or is that trying to maliciously damage somebody's business? As I've often said, whom do we trust when it comes to firearms, weapons, guns in America? Do we trust the laws that are, the bad people are supposed to obey? Oh, wait a minute, they're bad people, therefore they don't obey the laws. Or do we trust honest people that get the training, that take it seriously, that store their weapons sufficiently, And when called upon, when needed, they take action into their own hands. And let's hope and pray, and we're not just saying that we never have to worry about that here in the Treasure Valley. But if that happens, are you prepared? Are you willing to do that? To me, the harder the target, the less probability you're going to have somebody coming in. You don't see somebody really going in and attacking a military base where they have all the weapons. Now, when they're unarmed, like Fort Hood, that's a different story. However, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, it doesn't fit the we're all victims narrative, we're all sheep narrative, we need more laws, we need to take our weapons. What would have happened if this guy did not have a weapon and could not make the play to save the day? That's one topic at 580-5436. The other is, finally, it looks like the NFL is getting its act together.
Players who want to protest can choose to stay in the locker room during the anthem. But if you're on the field, you must stand for the national anthem or the player's team will be fined. President Trump said he doesn't think players should be in the locker room, but he approves the policy. Reaction from the players was mixed. A Yahoo Sports poll shows 52% of white fans support the new anthem policy, 49% of Hispanics do too, but only 29% of black NFL fans support it. At least one owner is standing against the new policy. New York Jets chairman Christopher Johnson says he would pay fines for any players who want to kneel during the anthem.
You know, why do they have to make it racial? Well, white people think this way, Hispanic people think this way, black people think this way. Why? So if you're of a particular nationality, ethnicity, you don't like America, you think that the national anthem is bad, is racist? It doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you're a fan of the Golden State Warriors, last week, Steve Kerr, the former basketball player with the Chicago Bulls and San Antonio Spurs, now one of the NBA's, if not the NBA's best coach, one of three that would be considered the NBA's best coach, had this to say concerning the NFL and the national anthem.
I think it's just typical of the NFL. They're just playing to their fan base, and they're just basically trying to use the anthem as fake patriotism, nationalism, scaring people.
Now, look, Steve Kerr is a smart guy, and God bless Steve Kerr. He lost his dad, who was killed in Beirut, at the University of Beirut, I believe, by terrorists when Steve Kerr was in college. And remember when he was in Arizona and he would shoot up a three? Back then the threes weren't so predominant. Everybody would yell, Steve Kerr. You didn't have to be an Arizona Wildcats to get that, to appreciate Steve Kerr as a player. Steve Kerr, a tenacious guy. I like Steve Kerr. I don't agree with him politically when he calls it fake patriotism. Look, the NFL ratings were down. They had to give back $600 million to their TV partners in free advertising because people are turned off to this. Now players are saying, well, if Colin Kaepernick doesn't get a job, if 49er safety Eric Reed doesn't get a job, they're going to protest. Good. Get out. The NFL is, does not revolve around one person, one entity. As much as you like your favorite team, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Broncos, the league moves on. We saw that with the replacement players that happened, in the mid-'80s. But when Steve Kerr starts saying it's fake patriotism, look, I think that if this did not hurt the NFL's business, the NFL would not have this policy. But look, whether you love America, I don't understand how anyone could have an issue with America today, especially those people that have been so blessed to play a game, to get paid billions of dollars for, to live a life that none of us will live, and they have a problem with the national anthem of this great country that has given them so much.
I think it's just typical of the NFL. They're just playing to their fan base, and they're just, basically.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that what the NFL is supposed to do, to reward their fans?
Trying to use the anthem as fake patriotism, nationalism, scaring people. It's idiotic, but that's how the NFL has handled their business. And I'm proud to be in a league that understands.
The NBA you don't have a choice. It's in their collective bargaining agreement that you stand for the national anthem. It goes back to Chris Jackson, Rahul Makhlouf, who was a guard who played at LSU and regardless had big issues with the league and his religion and everything else and protested. So the NBA proactively makes their players do this. But whether it's the NFL or the NBA, there's nothing wrong with loving America. And people can say, oh, that's nationalistic. What's wrong with being nationalistic? If you love the soccer, which who really does because it's a socialist sport, there are a lot of people. You see the Brazilians, they love being from Brazil. The Mexicans, they're so passionate about their teams. Why do we as Americans sit back and say to ourselves, well, yeah, we're Americans. We shouldn't be proud. We should be encouraging people to love America. We've seen what happens when people have doubts or try to destroy America. It was called 8 years under Barack Obama. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So let's hear a little bit more of Steve Kerr saying, giving us a history lesson about the First Amendment and whether or not somebody should be standing for the national anthem. By the way, the NFL says you either stand or you get fined. Now we have an owner of the New York Jets saying that he's going to pay the fines. What does this have to do with kicking a ball through the goalposts? What does this have to do with putting on the cleats, putting on the chin strap, putting on the shoulder pads, and hitting another man? It has nothing to do with this. It just gets you off course, right?
In America, it's about free speech, about peacefully protesting. And I think our leadership in the NBA understands that when the NFL players were kneeling, they were kneeling to protest police brutality, to protest racial inequality. They weren't disrespecting the flag or the military, but our president decided to make it about that. The NFL followed suit, pandered to their fan base, created this hysteria. This is kind of what's wrong with our country right now. People in high places are trying to divide us, divide loyalties, make this about the flag, as if the flag is something other than what it really is. It's a representation of what we're about, which is diversity, peaceful protests, and abilities, right to free speech.
It's about sacrifice, Mr. Kerr. It's about sacrifice. It's about 13 colonies coming together to save the world and create through God the United States of America. And it's been a while. Doug in Mountain Home joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Kevin. Sorry about hanging up. The last couple of times, just get caught up in traffic and all kinds of stuff. But, man, we've seen this coming. I mean, it's called liberalism. You see this stuff coming. I see it going on. They hate this country. They hate this president more than they love this country. I mean, what happened as far as I'm concerned is back in the 60s, them kids that are now parents, that are probably even now grandparents, they didn't get their ass beat. Excuse my language, but their folks didn't whip them. So now it's all freaking everything's kumbaya. They don't know God. They threw God completely out of their lives. Well, who took his place? It's called the Antichrist. You know that, Kevin.
And we're seeing it today, Doug.
Go ahead. Are you there?
I'm here, Doug.
Yeah, it's just this country. I mean, the NFL, I haven't watched a football game in centuries. I could care less about it. But I do care about my country, and I hope the country is starting to see what the other side of the coin is. I mean, you see it in Washington, D.C., and now you can turn the TV on and see it. They have no scruples, none. I mean, I hear it in liberal Steve's voice. I mean, they don't have a clue what this country was founded about because they were never taught it. They were never taught it. Period. I mean, they have taken it out of the schools, out of our books. You know, and the churches anymore, a lot of the churches, they don't teach it. I don't know how to say it, Kevin. I really don't. But praise you for what you were doing last week with the Boise Rescue Mission. I was there once, and I should have my butt kicked for not being there more than once, helping them. I served, and just watching and talking to some of the people. Kevin, I could be in one of them's place. I mean, I got divorced. I didn't have nowhere to go. My sister and brother-in-law took me in up in Montana. You know, it can happen in the blink of an eye to anybody. And excuse me for jumping to another topic, Kevin, but I really appreciate what you were doing then last week. And I'm hoping, and I know this Treasure Valley does too. God bless you. What were you talking about? Somebody being armed there.
I'll get to that in a minute, Doug. God bless. Good morning, Dave. And Kevin Miller in the morning here. Fox News next, and your home for Fox News in the Treasure Valley. That is 580 AM and 107.5 FM. KIDO Talk Radio.